Hello guys, how are we going? Welcome to another Instagram live chat. So today, another beautiful day here in Wellington, as you can see. So yes, looking forward to catching up with Kylie today and talk to her about some cosplaying stuff and talk about obviously her illustration as well. And then we'll talk about obviously we both work at Wētā, so we'll touch a bit on that as well. Hi man, there you go. Thanks for joining us, guys. Yeah, so hopefully Kylie will jump on pretty soon and we'll get started. Hope you guys are well. Obviously here is Sunday today, so obviously I'm back at work now, so I'm going to try to keep this thing going every Sunday. Get people on. Hello, how we go? There she is. Gonna push the invite button. All right. So yeah, so this could be a cool little stream. Let's go turn the light on. Can you see it? It's a bit dark. Here we go. Hello.
Hello.
How's things?
Good. Is the sound coming through okay?
Yep. We all good.
Perfect.
All good. So how are you going?
Good, yeah. It's a beautiful Sunday, so I'm actually enjoying it. It's the second cup of coffee time and good to go.
Yeah, I might go for a walk after this. Or after I paint the hallway, then I'll go for a walk. See how we go.
Still prepping the whole house.
Yeah, super. No, I was talking to one of the guys at work on Thursday. He was going, when's the baby due? I said, October. He's like, next month. I was like, oh, damn.
Oh,
it is too.
no.
I was
It
like,
hit.
it just hit. It's like, oh my God, it's next month. So, yeah, so so doing the hallway hopefully today. Just waiting for the builder to come in and just move the mirror with the cupboard down a little bit because Angela's quite short and it's too high for her. And then we'll paint the bathroom, get the liner in and the carpet in, and pretty much all there. So close. How are you? What have you been up to during lockdown?
Lockdown is the perfect time for me to do absolutely everything. It's been jumping around. Obviously, I still have work stuff to do, so I've been doing that. But then I've been doing a lot of cosplay stuff, doing illustration, and of course, I'm into polymer clay sculpting now as well. So a lot of those, just preparing for Auckland Armageddon if it goes ahead next month. Fingers crossed. Who knows?
Oh, that's right. I'm sure. I mean, like we had 20 cases yesterday, so. It's
definitely dropping.
It's looking promising, so we'll find out again today at 1 o'clock. I guess we'll find out next. Is it Monday? We'll find out what's the plan for the next
Monday's usually when we get the update. The Armageddon does have a fallback date as well, like a month later. So I mean, it will go ahead. It's just when will it go ahead is the question.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's get into it. So obviously, do you want to introduce yourself to the people out there who doesn't know who you are, obviously?
Sure. Kia ora, folks. My name is Kylie. I also go by Keisha Kitty. I am part of the Wētā Workshop team. My official title is events technician. I work over on the tourism side. So a big part of what I do is showing people what Wētā actually does through our tour spaces. I'm also a craft of the crew person. So I get to show people how to do sculpting and leather and chainmail and special effects. And before my time at Wētā and also currently, I am a cosplayer. I believe that's how Sana and I first met. I can't think of any other way we'd meet.
Yeah, I think so. And, we probably met at the convention, but we met officially in the cave for one of the cave birthday when I was wearing my dwarf costume. I think
that's right.
That was the official meeting.
Official. Bumped into each other plenty of times before though.
Yep.
Yeah. So I do all that and art as well. And sculpting and everything. Yep.
That's how we roll. We do everything. That's pretty much, if you're a cosplayer, you pretty much do everything.
I 100% agree.
Yeah. That's how I feel like when people say, oh, you guys work at Wētā, you guys are professionals. And I go, well, not really. Cosplayers are kind of more professional than we are because being a cosplayer, you have to do everything, where you do your pattern drafting, your pattern making, your sewing, your armor. You have to paint it, mold it, cast it, LEDs. The list goes on. But when you work at Wētā, sometimes you just one step off the of the big picture. So
Yeah.
that's why I think cosplayer, they do everything. And it's crazy how it's getting bigger and bigger, the big list that cosplayers can do now.
Yeah. Oh, it's always amazing because you think, oh, okay, cosplay's reached its peak. We've done everything we can.
Yeah.
And then someone does something else. Like I remember when lights and cosplay were the big thing, and everyone's like, yep, this is kind of like the top tier. And now people can have smoke machines going in their props and their armor, and it's just like, this is it. We're just going to keep evolving.
Oh, people are just pushing it. I mean, like, obviously with the emerging of the 3D printers, I've seen people like Sophia Wong in America. She's 3D printing onto power mesh, so you can. So and then she's not just doing that; she's putting lights in it as well. So these people out there who's pushing the boundary of the technology that we're getting, which is great. And it's quite funny that the industry do kind of take inspiration from cosplayers because they can't do half of the R&D for us already. We just know that's look good. We'll take that, which is really cool.
Oh, very true.
Yeah, man. Well, it's not cool stealing. It's cool just borrowing the idea.
Yeah, and I mean that's how everything evolves as well. You learn from each other, you share techniques and ideas, and what might work for one person doesn't for another. But then it's all an evolution.
Yep. So what got you into cosplay in the first place, anyway?
I can't even remember, to be honest. I know years ago when I did my first cosplay, I'd seen it on the internet happening in places like America, and I thought, oh, that looks really fun. I want to try it. And I was living in Hong Kong at the time, so of course they did have conventions over there. And I thought, hey, let's do a cosplay and go. It was a video game convention, so I made my first cosplay, and it was terrible. But I actually thought, oh, this is actually kind of fun. Like, people asked for my photo, and I got to try and make some stuff. And then I went about a couple of years without it. And then I think back in New Zealand, sort of because we have the Armageddon convention and now other conventions too, it just evolved from there.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how, like, also I knew of Armageddon a long time ago. I think I went once, and it was like, it was pretty cool. It was back at the old event arena. The TSB. Old school. I mean, I think it was pretty cool. I did enjoy it. I remember a few guys getting dressed up, a few cosplayers. I'm like going, who are these guys? And I thought, these guys are a bit weird. So I try and keep them a wide berth. They're like, they look at me now. It's like, I know, it's like, wow. I guess it's funny how, like, your first interaction with them, you're like, okay, these guys were full on. I must have got one of the guys who were fully in character and just like, I'm seeing it was a guy cosplaying as Itachi. It was the Naruto group, and they were just like calling each other their character's name, and I was like, "Whoa, these guys are a bit full on." And I'll go a bit.
That is intense cosplay in character.
Yeah. So I was there kind of fronted me a bit. Like, okay, these guys are a bit too much for me. I'm just gonna stick backwards and let them go past.
And look at you now.
Mind you, like, I'm not aware that we can class them as character cosplayers. Some people, when they cosplay, which is good for them, they fully emerge into that character and then become the character for the whole day. Where with me, I'm in the character for 1 second for the photo, so that's it. I'm just going to be myself for the whole convention.
No, I like the play part of it, but for me, I just love the builds, the making of them, on trying to spend an entire, 6 to 8 hour day in that costume. Did I build this to survive? I did, but I'm not very comfortable.
Yeah, we as I said, like, I started off making props. I used to make props. Obviously, I used to do a few commission a long time ago, making props. They're like, you know what? I should maybe make a costume go with my props. So I used to make the prop first and then mesh the costume to go with the prop. And they're like, oh, I might as well wear it. I made it, so I should wear it around. And I was so shy for the first 3 years that I always have a helmet on. So I refused to have a costume with no helmet because one is hard enough to pose with your body. Then you're trying to pose with your face as well. It's like, oh, no way too much. So I was like, I'm wearing a helmet for every costume. And it took me quite a while to get away from that shyness and to be able to expose my face, I guess, to the world.
Yeah. But you've done it now, and it's that confidence of being in the costume and not just making it.
Yeah, I guess they come with the whole thing too. When I was trying to make this whole cosplay thing, I wouldn't say a job, but I was trying to take it more seriously, and I kind of figured out I can't just hide behind the helmet. If I want to start doing more things with it, I got to be a bit more outgoing and kind of come out of my shell a little bit more. So. No, it's been good. It's been a good learning experience, that's for sure.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Man. So who were the people that you kind of like looked up to when you first started cosplaying?
I didn't have anyone. I think back then it wasn't these are like really well known cosplayers. It was just a hobby people enjoyed doing. So there weren't really any names that stood out. I mean, I think the first one that really stood out was probably Kamui, and I mean, for good reason. I mean, back then she was doing a lot of Warbler based stuff, and it was always mind blowing. But even still, that wasn't the early years for me. I think it took quite a while before there were a lot of people whose names started to get out there. So in the early days, it was just more enjoyment of the hobby, and then later on, it was finding other cosplayers, whether it be local or international, where I really loved what they did, and I'd follow them and watch how they make things and learn from them as well. Yeah,
it's been like pretty much the last probably 10 years that cosplay's really picked up. Before that, it's kind of like a little hobby that you keep quiet about. When does I dress up.
Don't tell anyone you dress up as an anime character.
Yeah, man. But whereas these days now, if we'll say if you're a cosplayer, if you like pop culture and like comic culture, and like it's become a lot more popular now. And if you're a Marvel fan, you're cool now. Where maybe like 10 years ago, if you like Marvel, you like comics, you're like, oh, you keep that on your D-Lo, But now if you're a geek on, yeah, man, be proud of it,
You can tell that we're from the early years, Janet, where we're like, oh yeah. I mean, I still remember when it was so hard to get a wig in a certain color, and you usually have to get one of a lighter one and use like inks to dye it. And I see people now going, oh, I'm getting like $100 order on Taobao, and I'm like, oh, back in my days, child, when I was trying to get something like that. So I'm really happy that now there is so much on offer. And I mean, I still see like folks over in America going, oh yeah, I'm just going to run and grab these supplies. And I'm sitting here in New Zealand going, gosh, I wish it was that easy to get hold of certain materials. But even still here in New Zealand, how far we've come with the supplies that are available now, especially with international shipping. It's just,
That's what I like about New Zealand makers anyway. Because like back in the days, you have to make do with what you have, Like we couldn't get Warbler back in the day. We had Wonderflex, which is not too bad, but you couldn't get Warbler back in the days.
I remember Wonderflex.
We had foam. We had like format foam. We didn't get proper EVA foam or proper HD foam until maybe the last 3 years. And like so, people have to make do with what you have, and the stuff that was coming out from New Zealand was still pretty good for what we had.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
So we have to, obviously we live here in the bottom of the world, so you have to adapt to what you have.
Just whatever is available.
Yeah. But obviously, like, it's still, that's what I enjoy about it, because like, it's the problem solving aspect of it, That's why I enjoy making costume sets. I like to choose stuff that has been made before, because, I enjoy that. Figuring stuff out and how this is going to go, how that's going to go, rather than just copying what's out there. I guess that's my experience with cosplay anyway. Because I like to tweak it.
And I think it's just the fun challenge of it as well. Is these are the resources that I have. How am I actually able to take these and create something out of it as well? That's part of what cosplay is. It's the challenge, and also the challenge of making it wearable, because, unless it's based off, say, a live action movie or TV show, a lot of what people cosplay is from a video game or something animated. So what looks fine on a, 2D animated character does not work quite as well on an actual physical human body. So it's how to keep stuff looking like this character, like their costume, but at the same time making it so that you can move around. And, you know, our favorite bathroom breaks, you know, can you still go to the toilet?
Yeah. So I've got, when I made a costume, there's a few, let's say, checklists that I have to take off. One, obviously, can I move in this costume? Yeah. Can I fit this costume in my suitcase? Can I go to the bathroom? It's definitely the top three. Like, you know, like when I made my dwarf for the first time, that was probably the one big costume that I made. So I took that to America as well, and
Wow.
when I made it, I didn't think about my suitcase at all, and it just fit in the suitcase, and there was no way I go to the bathroom with that costume by myself, and it was like so uncomfortable. So since then, I was like, nope, no more. To make sure everything's all comfy. How about yourself? What's the worst uncomfortable costume that you made? And you're like, oh my god, I'm not doing that ever again.
Oh, it was definitely Al from Fire Emblem Heroes. It was just so many layers of warbler and pieces layered on top of one another. Bathroom breaks were fine. It was a pair of pants, but it was all the armor on top. There was a big colonnade of warbler that kind of started on an emblem on the chest, came around from the back, and my movement was very limited on it. I mean, I was happy I did it because it was a challenging costume. And, but I wore that and thought never again. And that was also the year Kasara came to Wellington Armageddon. And, you know, she was talking about how she loved doing Fire Emblem cosplay, but always ended up being so uncomfortable. And that was my first Fire Emblem that weekend. And I'm like, oh, solidarity. I know exactly how you feel.
I feel you. Yeah, I mean, like, I posted a picture today or yesterday on my Instagram because obviously Dragon Con is happening right now. And there's a picture of me all sweaty after wearing my dwarf costume. So basically, the backstory of that is our hotel was about half an hour, maybe 20 minutes walk to the convention center. And it's about a 5 minutes by a minivan. But my dwarf was too big to fit in the minivan, so I couldn't get in. So I had to walk. And obviously, Atlanta, this time of year, is pretty hot. So by the time I walked 20 to half an hour to the convention floor, I was absolutely drenched. I obviously have to walk back after that too. So that's the backstory of that sweaty picture that I post up.
And isn't that shower you have afterwards the best feeling in the whole world?
Yeah.
I think any cosplayer would say that, right? The shower, taking off wigs and contacts, shoes, that sort of thing. It's like you can never explain how satisfying it is. You have to experience it to understand.
It's that first rush of cool air when it hit the sweat. It's like, that's nice.
And see, that's why one of my favorite parts of working on cosplay is how am I going to reduce the temperature on this if it's something. So usually a lot of costumes, if there's several layers, like the base shirt will always be a sleeveless one, just so I don't have like layers upon layers of sleeves. And that also makes washing and cleaning a lot easier too.
Yeah. You know, with the dwarf there was no fat suit inside. So it's like a big cavity of foam, which is good. And obviously, like, the only part that I padded up was obviously the biceps and the thigh. Everything else is pretty much hollow. Because there's no point putting too much bulk on when you don't need to. So I probably saved myself some pain by doing that, that's for sure.
Well, because I mean, in The Hobbit, wasn't it tubes at the back of the costumes that they blast cold air around the actors between takes? Wasn't that the main system?
No, they have actual cooling suits. So these suits that guys who drive like Formula One cars will have. So there's it's like a vest, and there's like a tubes running through throughout the body, and they'll either pump cold water or they either pump hot water in to keep the actors nice and cool or nice and warm. So it's pretty cool. Obviously, we can't afford that, so I just had to make gaps.
Can you imagine cosplayers all investing in these really expensive cooling systems and warming systems?
I did joke around by buying those ice pack, those frozen ice pack, and sew them up as a vest, and I put it in the freezer the night before, take it out to wear it for the day. It'll be way too heavy.
That sounds amazing. Now I'm thinking about summer conventions and how to stay cool. But the investments and it. It's like, got to pay the money if you want it.
I'm supposed to be lucky here in New Zealand that obviously Auckland is probably the hottest convention we have. everything else is still pretty cool. Even like we're saying hot, I mean, like it might get to 24, 25 at the most. You know, we get nowhere near Atlanta, like where it's like like 30s and 40s. So we're pretty lucky that most of the time we are pretty cool here in New Zealand. When we cosplay. Let's get this way. Warbler is so great here. Most places in the world. It doesn't melt, it doesn't warp itself, so we're lucky we can use that material pretty freely here.
Yeah.
Oh, talk about cosplay. So what's your favorite, obviously, I know answer this question, what's your favorite genre to cosplay?
What's my favorite what, sorry?
Well, what's your favorite character or like gaming?
Oh, well, you know it's going to be a Borderlands one, right? I think you said that question like, oh, I know the answer already.
Yeah.
I think it's a tie between Zach's doppelganger Timothy, just because it's cool to have like the shirt, the really nice jacket and everything. But I also love cosplaying Lorelei from Borderlands 3. She is like goals character I'd love to be myself. And just like the mixture of the jacket, all different combinations, the hair, my same hair color right now. It's usually a Borderlands character because, there's a real big challenge in putting it all together, but there's something so amazing about walking around and looking like you're an animated character with all the cell shading and line work. So it's definitely a lot more that you have to add to a costume, but then at the end result is great. So, yeah. Yeah,
I mean, like that whole genre of Borderlands cosplay has kind of changed the cosplaying world a little bit. It kind of add its own kind of like character, its own kind of technique to it with the whole, shell, the whole like the shading and the pin mark, which is really cool. It's add dimension. Also, we have obviously like for me, Halo probably one that kind of changed. Star Wars and Halo. Then you have like just different throughout the years. There's different like genre of cosplay that changes stuff, where Borderlands is probably the latest one that people really get into the cell shading stuff now, which is really cool.
And it works really well with the challenges too, because there's a lot of Borderlands characters who have like a glowing part to their costume. So you see people doing lights. I did my first LEDs in my Lorelei cosplay too. I'd never done them before, so that was actually having to learn how to solder and all that. And I'm doing my basic thing, and here's my cosplay partner Abby over here, who made us a fully moving, working robot for another one of our Borderlands group cosplays. That was very cool, having Gorgeous roll around beside us. But I mean, she has the mind for that. She is so good at problem solving. That's why I love to do all the painting, the details, all the kind of patterning and the electronic side. That's where Abby is just so incredible. So it's really nice having a cosplay partner you can tag team off of each other and work from as well. Yeah, that's I mean, like, speaking of that, obviously we both went to PAX, not last year before in Melbourne. Obviously, didn't you place in one of the competition? Yeah, I came third in the Gearbox 2K Australia Borderlands cosplay contest, and that was really surreal. I mean, I got my first ever giant check. So, no, for me, the thing that was a huge honor, because the caliber of the cosplays there was amazing. Like, I think I might have been one of the only New Zealanders, bar Brooke Curie Cosplay, who lives in Australia now, but from New Zealand. But the Australian Borderlands cosplay community, I'm just chef kiss to them. They are phenomenal at what they do. So there were so many different cosplays, different levels, different techniques, beautiful, beautiful work. So to be able to get a place in that was probably one of my biggest honors in being part of a cosplay contest.
For me, like that was my first experience of being a contestant as well. Because like, obviously myself, Victoria, Johanna, we were in the Overwatch battle. That was cool. But I was lucky enough to be asked to be the captain of the team, and I was like, who am I going to ask to be in my team? I mean, also, because they said New Zealand, so I did have a thought about asking someone from Auckland and Christchurch as well. Then I go, but that's not going to work, because to work together we have to fly each other up and down to work on a costume. So I just had to choose someone who's local. That give us the best chance to make a good costume. So obviously I chose Victoria and Johanna.
And
together.
I think the three of you, I still remember sort of at the end of work days walking down the road and I'd see some of you walking off with like parts of the Reaper cosplay under your arms and in boxes and like, there it is, where it's going.
Yeah, we like, as I said, like that's point it looked really cool. Our aim was to keep the silhouette of the character. When I first made the helmet, I did have a thought about putting the helmet on top of my head, so we keep that long neck profile going. And then also we went against that because one of just being too heavy by the time we have the feathers on there, it just be too uncomfortable. But man, that I had to stop myself from changing it because I like to have movement in my costume. As I was deciding and breaking it down, so nope, I can't change this. I've got to keep it the same. Nope, stop.
You gotta work.
Yep. You got to work, and man, that was hot in that costume.
And in Melbourne, and it was that time of year where it's starting to warm up. I mean, thank goodness that their convention centre is so nicely air conditioned. That's for sure. Yeah,
no, it was so much fun. I mean, like obviously we competed against guys who are amazing, like Claire, Aurum, Stephanie, and her team. And
they have the big Ryan team.
Yeah, man, it was like for me, it was cool. Also, it's the first time being a contestant. It was quite nerve-wracking, actually. It's really like people seeing your stuff. I mean, it's different. You go to a convention just to wear your costume. You get good feedback, and to be judged as an actual contestant, that was a whole different level. I was like, oh,
yeah. I didn't actually realise that you'd never been judged before. Like that wasn't something that you've usually done because it's so second nature to me now.
Yeah, I guess it would be like, as I said, like. When I make my costume, I like to just do whatever. So if I were to be a contestant, I have to pretty much copy what's already there. So for me, it's like I always thinking about entering competition, but now I'm not allowed to anymore. According to New Zealand, I can't do it anyway. So like, okay, cool, that's fine. So I kind of like decide I'm never going to enter a contest again. But no, it was a good experience. It's nice to be on the other side of the judging panel, just to get the goosebumps and the butterflies of being judged by someone.
And now when you go back to judging, you're like, I feel you, I understand what you've been through, what you're doing, how you're feeling.
Of course, we're lucky. Our judging was different than normal judging, though. Also, when you enter a contest, you'll be in person, and the judge will come and obviously judge you. But so they'll come like obviously look around, make sure all your seams are right, all your costume is nice and perfect. But in our case, we sent through a video and photos. So they sent Josh over to take photos of us, take video of our costume. So that was our judging, which what I realized I should have done better is like, don't show them everything. We should pick and choose all the best part of the costume and just show them that. And like, it's something that I just think of now because I was a part of the Ultimate Cosplay contest this year, and as we're talking about the judging process for that, and Hoku Pop Chair said, "Oh, what's good about these contestants? They can be a bit cheeky. Don't show us everything. Show us the best part of your costume." And I'm like, oh, why did I do that? There's us trying to do the full 360, but when you do detail, we should just pick and choose just the best part. Don't choose the part that shows something that's not quite right. It's like, damn it! If I can turn back time, do it all.
Learning curve. It's a learning curve, isn't it?
Yeah, especially if making a costume. Obviously, like we knew, okay, we can't get this done just in time, but let's get this stuff done for the photo shoot. If we get the rest done for Melbourne later. Oh, if I knew that, I mean, oh, damn it! We were rushing, trying to get everything done for the photo.
Sorry.
I had to put a time machine and go back in time and tell myself.
The point is, though, it turned out so well, and I still think about that one to this day because. It's how you got the glow perfect, the big plume of the feathers and everything. So, whether you place or not, that's not the main thing. It's like, did you enjoy the process? And like you guys clearly, and you got to go to PAX.
I know, it was awesome. We had this idea. We were going to put smoke inside the feather. So we had the idea in our head. we're gonna put like a tube through there, and we put holes so when smoke will come out of it, like the actual, But then, like, I think it was a cool idea, but it's gonna be too much work for the effects we're gonna get. But next time, if we make it again, we'll try it again. If we do, or just set on
next
fire.
time, would it be the Okami? Was it Okami, the wolf one you were going for, wasn't it? Was the other one?
Yes, that was what I was wishing for. Yeah, I was wishing for that. It would be quite cool to do the wolf head, but keep it as almost like Borderlands. Keep it really kind of gamey and cartoony in a way.
Yeah.
So, plus, I've seen so many guys that make their costume, but they get fur and they try to style the fur, right? So also, why don't you just stick with what the game had? Use EVA foam and keep that kind of like really sharp lines, and that's gonna be my approach. Yeah.
Why don't you just make it? Why are you waiting for a contest? Just make it.
Well, I can't anymore. I've got something coming along the way next week. Next month.
You got a little something that's going to be a big part of your life coming up. That's fair.
I can make it. I can make a mini one.
Yes. Do it.
I'm sure there'll be a lot of mini costume for the baby. Surely.
Your kid. You're going to make costumes for your kid, aren't you? I only just thought about it now. Like, oh, San, it's happening, isn't it?
Well. The funny thing, the due date is October the 30th. So the baby could be a Halloween baby. So I was saying, I was joking with Angela, it might just come out. I just pop straight into a costume, slide straight in. There you go.
What would be baby's first cosplay?
Well, we don't know if the baby is a girl or a boy yet. We'll find out. We're going to have a little get together in a few weeks. So I'll find out then, which is cool. I've got a few ideas, obviously for the baby, and I'll give two out. Okay, two ideas out.
Okay.
One, if it's a boy, obviously I'll do the Hulkbuster, and he can be Iron Man. That's one. Okay. If it's a she, I'll do Aliens. So I'll be the massive mech yellow suit, and she can be Ridley inside. Yeah. So that's the two that I've got so far. So we'll find out soon which one I'll make once we announce the baby's he or she, I guess. And I'm sure there'll be plenty more.
Yeah. And I mean, hey, you can have a little girl Iron Man if you want to, or a little boy Ripley. It's like,
yeah. I mean, like I said, well, there's plenty out there that I can choose from. I'm sure I'll ask for all you guys' help. I'll do a big list and we can pick and choose.
It's like a choose which costume you're going to make first for the mother.
Yeah. We can do if you guys follow Mini Chief. So there's in America, obviously there's a little boy whose his page is Mini Chief. So it's like little from when he was about 4 or 5. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. Also, he's a grown boy now, so he's no longer Mini Chief anymore, but his dad is a part of the Halo group, and every year he'll make him a costume.
It's Mini Chief of our hearts.
yeah, pretty much. So I'm sure we'll obviously there's been plenty of names being thrown around for the baby. I think Mini Spice can be the best one because someone just said Baby Spice. I'm not having that. That's the Spice Girl. We can't get in trouble for using that name. So maybe Mini Spice will be the name for the baby.
Oh, bless.
We'll see how we go. Anyway, back to our conversation.
Yes.
Obviously, cosplay is a big thing for you. When did you just work illustration? Did that come before or kind of like during?
Yeah, definitely before.
Yeah.
I get that because often, the question is, when did you first start drawing? A lot of artists say, when I could hold a pencil. But, I mean, I think most of us, we do some form of, like, playing around with crowns and colour pencils and everything when we're kids. The thing about people who, do art, it's just they never stopped. It was still something that they've constantly done, or they've picked it up again later in life. But I've just loved illustrating. It got me through high school a lot. When I just could not focus on my schoolwork anymore, I'd sit down and draw comics or anything else that came to mind. And just again, it was something I did freelance for a little bit after university, and then got sick of the freelance life because it's tough. So went and studied something completely different after that. But I love illustrating as well. And I still really need to give digital a proper go. Like I want to at some point this year invest in like a tablet and start doing some illustration. But I just love doing stuff traditionally still. So I have like all my markers and my paint, because something about getting your hands messy as well. And I guess it's the same. That's why I love cosplay. It's like it's all done physically there. And I have so much love and respect for what people do digitally. It's just something that I haven't taken the time to really learn and evolve into yet. So
I
now.
was the same as you as well. I was like, obviously last year lockdown, I had an iPad, so I told myself, okay, this lockdown, I'm going to learn this, these programs like Procreate and this kind of stuff. So it was good, but I still enjoy drawing with pen and paper. I'm like, what's worse about drawing pen and paper is when you draw on a scrap piece of paper, it's the best drawing ever, and you try and draw on a good paper again, it's like you never get the same feel. It's like every time I'll doodle on a piece of post-it paper just for fun, is always so good, and you try and replicate it, it's just like nope.
Yeah,
that's weird.
I can also tell you that if you do a draft sketch and share it with everyone online, people are really into it, and then you finally do the finished one, and often it gets missed or unnoticed, and you're like, oh, did I do something wrong, or is it just people haven't seen it? But it's always the way, it's always that draft stuff. But maybe that's part of it. It's just that rough, there's something like really, can't even think of the word, but when you do something really rough, it just shows a lot through your line work and everything, and people get a lot of emotion and sense of what you're trying to accomplish with that alone.
I guess it's less pressure when you're just drawing for the sake of it. When you try to do something beautiful, your line work's not as fluent. You tend to be more precise, and you tend to go a bit slower. You want to make sure you get the lines nice and straight. But when you're just doing a gestural drawing, that's why I enjoy life drawing. I took a drawing class recently with Matt, and obviously I've drawn pretty much most of my life. But when I draw, I will hold the pencil this way. Even during art school, we're doing life drawing, we get told to hold pencil this way. Obviously, Matt, he studied overseas before, and he holds his pencil this way.
Oh gosh.
Okay, you hold it, and obviously, what that is, it makes sense. When you draw this way, all you have really is this motion. That motion, really.
But this way,
when we hold it this way, you have the whole arm to draw with. So it's quite nice to really break it down. Obviously, because I know that I draw a lot, so I'm pretty good at drawing. But you pick up habits along the way that you then to really to go back and learn it from the fundamental side of it, and learn to draw again, and to learn it from someone else's point of view is quite refreshing. You learn something different. So it's really good. I really enjoy it. So anytime I draw anything bigger than an A4, then I try to, if I can, get nice and just draw and go for it. It's really fun.
A bit harder on A4 or smaller, trying to.
Yeah. You probably can, but you don't get much of a movement. You want to get the whole body going. Yeah. So obviously you say you like using markers and watercolor. So your best medium, and you enjoy using?
Gouache. A lot of gouache as well is another common thing. So I saw artwork years ago online with it was Prismacolor at the time. That was a real big one. Like, okay, cool. So I bought a 12-pack and started experimenting, and really loved those. And then other brands were coming out, so I was using ones like Tria markers as well. But then I heard about Copic, but they were not easy to get in New Zealand at the time. So I had to wait until I went home to see my parents, who lived over in Hong Kong at the time, to get them from the art stores there. And they're definitely my go-to now. And again, it's like we were saying with cosplay earlier, how years ago in New Zealand, a lot of stuff was hard to get, but now you can get Copic from a lot of the major art suppliers here in New Zealand. But I have a big collection of those now, and refills. So I love it because they're very vibrant, bright colors. You can blend them, you can do a lot with them. There are downsides to markers where some colors can potentially fade over time depending on how the final pieces are displayed, and that's a little bit different than, say, certain paints, which can last a lot longer. But I mean, it's the same with any kind of material. There's going to be ups and downs to them.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think I tried a bit of that during design school. I don't know. I did 1 year of illustration and computer graphics at UB, which it was called Netcall at the time, and I did the illustration with markers.
I went to Netcall too.
Yeah. I went when it was called UB. It was back in it was down towards Water Street. Was down there, but obviously it's moved.
I went there too.
Oh yeah.
What year did you go?
2000 and I thought too much took it down. 2011 or 12 or something.
Okay, it was later than me. I think it was like 2006, maybe.
Yeah, I finished Wanganui 2004. 2004, finished studying fine arts in Wanganui. Then I worked. Then I muck around for a few years. It must be. I have a lot of but yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. As a computer graphics, I really enjoyed it. It was nice to learn the computer side of it. Also, the printmaking, the painting, the glass blowing, all the hands-on stuff. I mean, because with the printmaker, I really resonated with using Illustrator. So I do layer by layer, so I really enjoy that. I guess that's why I find Photoshop painting really hard to pick up, because I'm not a painter.
Yeah.
But where if I do Illustrator, it's so easy. Just like me being a printmaker, I just do one layer, one color. Next layer, one color. So it's the same thing. So, you ever try printmaking and stuff like that, Kylie?
Never had a chance for printmaking. One of my really close friends has been doing quite a bit of it now and looks absolutely gorgeous. It's fun. Yeah, there's so much that I would still love to try. Like, I mean, I've been very fortunate. I've been able to try out so many different techniques and things over the years through study and, you know, purchasing stuff myself. But there's always going to be new things that I can try out and experiment with. Yeah,
I see Lindsay like printmaking as well. Maybe we can like talk to the place in Kelburn and get into do some printmaking. Do a weekend of printmaking. That'd be quite cool. I mean, I bought myself a little press where one does when you crank down. So maybe give that a go. That'd be quite cool. So it's just nice doing old school stuff. Obviously, like it's good having the technology, but I always say to even people who want to get into the costuming world for film or by themselves, just try the old school way first. You know, before diving into ZBrush or diving into Photoshop or whatever, just try the old school way, you know. Just try doing old school, and then you can like you learn the fundamental of doing it that way, and then go digitally. Yeah,
we had the same thing with just using markers as well. People like, I want to go and throw down $200 on an expensive bunch of markers. And it's like, if you really want to try them, buy like 3 of them in these colors and experiment blending and mixing them together, because you don't just buy materials or you know, machines and other things that you need and it won't instantly make your stuff good. You still need to know the fundamentals first. And you can do that with cheaper stuff as well. And there's nothing wrong with starting off with cheaper and then working your way up to investing more. But I just always so worried about people spending hundreds of dollars on these really expensive things and then it sits in a corner gathering dust.
Yeah, I mean, like we all done that. So obviously, like I bought myself a cricket machine. That's just really cool. I've used it like 3 times.
Yeah.
And like, what about you? What's something you bought which is quite expensive, but you haven't used it as much as you should?
I don't know. I think I've used most of the stuff. I'm sorry, I'm looking around my workspaces now. Yeah. What did I buy that I didn't use much of? I don't know. I guess I'm too worried to spend a lot of money on stuff. That's probably just materials in general that I've bought, like fabrics and that, going, I'll make this cosplay, and I never do. And I've got big piles of like faux fur and leather and such in the side, because it's like, that's going to be a really fun, I still got it in my mind, a Skyrim cosplay that I really want to make. So I've got like all the materials for it, but none of the motivation, because there's a whole bunch of other things I want to make right now. So I think it's less about the machines for me, or the expensive technology, and more just base materials. Fair
enough. Obviously, like we all cosplayers have a big list of stuff you want to make, and you probably get added on pretty much every week. Every time you see a social media post, that look cool, save that. That look cool, save that. Oh, so no good. But if you had, there's always a question you get asked all the time. If you have unlimited resources, what costume will you make? If you ask anyone for any help, they'll cool, I'll help you. You have no budget restraint. Listen, Richard Taylor comes tomorrow. Hey, Kylie, what costume would you make? Oh, the whole workshop can make it for you. Whichever you make. No limit. You have you have the free range of the whole workshop.
It would be the Forest Guardian Orisa from Overwatch.
Okay.
The big centaur of all the very druid style, it'll be that. The other thing would be a character from a little mobile game I play called AFK Arena. There is a character, and I still want to make this myself anyway, a little centaur called Namora, but she's a sheep centaur.
Oh, yeah.
Because, again, centaurs, man. Centaurs are the thing I'd love to make.
No. Nice. That's really cool. I think for me, I love Transformers, and I love the character, Hot Rod.
Oh my gosh!
I said for me, Hot Rod, and when he became Rodimus Prime, obviously, I would love to make that costume one day. That'd be really cool.
The question is, would you make it so that you could crouch down and make it transform?
Oh, maybe. I mean, that'd be cool if you can do a bit of it. But obviously, having people like Solo with all the lightings and stuff in there, that'd be cool. And have some moving parts, so I can push a button and maybe a gun will come out or something. Something like that would be quite cool.
Have you seen the videos online of the small children, and it's just cardboard, but how the kids will crouch down and become like Bumblebee and Optimus Prime? I'm like, that is just so much pure joy seeing, because the kids are obviously loving it. They love the awe that they get from everyone, the people who help them build it. It's just that's what I live for with cosplay, is just seeing that joy that people get out of sometimes the most simplest things.
I mean, there's one story that I got told when I was at Dragon Con about 5-6 years ago, that there was a dad and a son or a daughter anyway. So the dad dressed up as the Eiffel Tower, and the baby was King Kong, just attached to it. I was like, that's a really cool idea, I like those kind of costume where, and when you go to Armageddon and go to a convention, I like seeing the whole family kind of cosplaying together. And sometimes it's nice to see kids to have costumes that their parents make for them. It might not be EVA foam, it might just be cardboard and tinfoil with masking tape. But for me, that's how it should be. It should be the parents and the kids work together to make a cool costume rather than...
There's that family here in New Zealand where they've all done Monster Hunter cosplays together.
I know. So he actually made my birthday cake for my 40th, and he made the cake for the Wētā birthday as well. So that's his one. It was pretty cool.
Wait, say that again?
So they have a cake. They make cakes and they're side hustle. So it's pretty cool. So remember the cake for Wētā's birthday? The one with
Wait, is this the bag end one with Bilbo?
So he made that one as well. Yeah, he made that one as well.
That is so cool.
Yeah, so
oh my gosh, I think... See, this is the thing. You're like, wait, that was that person? This is great about New Zealand.
Yeah. Oh, no, sorry. No, sorry. I'm going to mistake.
No other person, sorry?
No, that's up in Auckland. That's the Hamilton. So that's, what's his name? Oh, what's his name? This is the family that they did the Demon Hunter group, sorry. I had them wrong.
Yes.
I had it wrong, so. But they're both pretty cool. But he just did the Pokemon one. That was quite cool. With the Butterfree and what's it called? Kakuna? Is it Kakuna? No, it's not.
Butterfree Metapod.
Metapod, that's right. That's right.
Yep. Is that like a baby wrapped up in a little...
Yep. Now he does some cool stuff. Also, like he just did a Batgirl for his daughter stuff as well. So as I said, like there's plenty of inspiration, out there for me to choose for the baby when the baby does come out.
Yeah.
It'll be some pretty cool costume, that's for sure.
My friend Val, when she first had her little one, dressed as Misty from Pokemon, and had the little one as Togepi, and a little egg, so just carrying it. I'm like, that, just absolute joy.
Yeah, I mean, obviously when the baby's young, I said like maybe for next year, obviously like baby Grogu probably going to be the first one.
Yes.
The most obvious one, the most easiest one.
Have you made a Mandalorian cosplay yet?
Yeah, I've got one, which I've given.
You've got one, yeah.
But I've got.
So there you go. You just need to make the little baby Yoda.
Yeah. Little cradle. Now I'm sure we'll work out. I'll get my mum to knit. Mum like knitting, so she can knit the little ears for Grogu. So we'll see. We'll see how we go. Still plenty of time for something else to come up before that happens.
Yeah, you never know what we're going to get in the way of movies and film and video games to add to the list.
Oh, so like this year, like season, I've been watching the What If series, and I was like, oh, that'd be cool to make. It's like it made me think, what if? How can I like choose a character of my own? What if they become that character? I'm like, so much.
I mean, you can do it. You're taking from the existing idea of what if.
Yeah. Like kind of like mix it. Like I had this idea where, what if, what I had the Fellowship and Star Wars kind of like mix up together.
Do it.
That was quite. That idea came to my head. Like I was gonna do like a Gimli, like Mandalorian, like a all armored up Gimli, but like Mando style. That'd be quite funny.
I will look forward to that.
We'll see. But I feel like that came to my head when I was watching that series. I thought, how can I like take this even further? Like just mix up the universes together. It'd be quite cool. But we'll see. Anyway, we go carry on. Almost been an hour. Oh my god. So obviously we both work at Wētā, obviously. Obviously, you work mostly in the tourism side. So how do you find that right now with the whole lockdown thing happening? So,
I mean, there's a lot of good from it because it does give a little bit of time. Sorry, I'm getting messages all over my phone here. Just let me get rid of those. It's been good that, even though we're not there with people, we've been able to focus on a lot of small things that we wanted to, that have been in the back of our minds, like we should start working on these little things. And I think that's what I really like about our team is that even when something like lockdown hits and we're not going to be physically there with people, there's a lot of things we can focus on for the benefit and the future of what we can offer visitors once they're back. I can't really talk about what I'm doing, but I can't talk about it live. I'll definitely tell you about it later. But I'm working on a really cool kind of project for kids to be able to do, which I'm really excited for because I love how much we get to make, to encourage kids to get creative as well. So working on those, how to, make our tours even more amazing and fun for people, what we can add to those. So, I said, we're home, but we've still got stuff to do. So,
which is good.
Yeah. I don't think every tourism venture in New Zealand has that luxury, and I think that's one of the really good things about being at Wētā is, when we say tourism, it's tourism within the creative field. So,
I said, like, so many times when you're at work and you have this brainwave moment, but you can't do anything about it because you're working, but now you have the time, like, remember that time a month ago when I had the idea? Now you have downtime, you can actually, spend that time and figure it out properly. And so we had that call like last week, and there's a few ideas that came up from it. So I came up with a little idea. I'll talk about it later, but I'm going to do that hopefully in the next couple of weeks, just in time for Halloween. Hopefully, it should be pretty cool.
I can't believe it's next month. So you've got a baby and Halloween coming up.
Just I know.
Double whammy.
We'll see how we go. Obviously, like making big costume will be out of the question for the next few years, but will be some little mini costumes coming along the way. So it'll be easier. Hey, safe on material, safe on storage space.
Exactly. The ups and downs of childhood.
Get sponsored by kids like clothing line or something. Infant costume armor.
Oh yes.
At least EVA foam, the kids fall down. At least it's safe.
Yeah, it's extra padding. Stop them bumping their heads.
Yeah,
little helmet.
And it's warm as well. It's good installation. There you go. Perfect.
Now you just got to market it.
I reckon I have to market it now. I have to hire myself a market manager to push it out. Yeah, man. Yeah, so obviously, like with the once the world open up again, which convention we want to go back to? Listen,
which convention?
Yeah.
I cannot wait until it's safe between both us and Australia to go back to PAX Australia.
Yeah.
I mean, that is what I look forward to every year. So for 2 years now, it hasn't been going. They were hoping to run it this year, but then obviously poor Australia's had a massive outbreak of Delta. So they're back to being online again. But we already made the decision at the start of this year that we weren't going to go to this year's PAX, even if it had gone ahead. Just because it doesn't quite feel like we're there yet in the way of safety. And I think obviously now we did make a good decision, but hoping that can go ahead at some point, because I love PAX. I love the organization to it. I absolutely love, because it's video games, which are my jam. The people that I know in Australia, both long-time friends and people I've made going to that con over the years, the cosplay is so top tier. So I mean that's more of a expo than a convention, I should say. But that's a big one. And then when it can go ahead, because they're having to change the date because of what's going on. But Great Games of Pals next year. Looking forward to that one as well.
What's that one?
That's one you judged it last year.
That's right. I've seen the name. The name's gone. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, that's right.
GGWP.
That's right. See, I go by the initial rather than the name, because it's always out there all the time.
GGWP. Now you remember it. Great Games of Pals.
That's right. So, how about what convention, like overseas, anywhere that you would love to go to that you haven't been to before?
That I haven't been to, probably Emerald City Comic Con or San Diego Comic Con. Emerald City, because a lot of my close friends can come down from Vancouver in Canada, and a lot of my friends sell at that one too. And then obviously San Diego Comic Con, because hey, it's a big one, and I think it's if you are a con goer, be good to go at least once. It is like the really hard one to get to. I mean, for us as well, just getting over there and everything. I know it can be limited on tickets, but so be between those two. I've heard good things about Dragon Con too, though.
Oh, Dragon Con is not a convention. Dragon Con is just a big party. I told you right
is there something wrong with that?
No, there's nothing wrong with it. But I went the same year when PAX Seattle and Dragon Con was on a weekend one after another. So I went there and I pretty much hit two birds with one stone. But when I got to Dragon Con, I got told it was a party. But when you see it, it was like, wow, this is more wild than I thought it was going to be. And I was like, I got taken back by, I never thought, stuff that I saw in that convention after 6 o'clock, I cannot ever unsee it again. That's how bad. It was awesome, but I was like, I got a bit overwhelmed. It's like, oh my God, this is like crazy. Also, if I go back now, I'll be a bit more prepared. And
you're mentally prepared for what Dragon is.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was really cool. It was extremely crazy. Obviously, I was lucky enough to go to Emerald City with work a couple of years ago. Yeah. And so I got a lot of friends who are based around the obviously LA, Seattle, and Portland area. So it's quite cool to catch up with them. But one convention I love to go to, obviously I love to go back to Fantasy Basel again as well. That was quite cool. But I really want to go to the Adam Savage one, the Silicon.
Say that again. Which one?
The Adam Savage. He had his own convention last weekend. Yeah, Emily. Also, I was lucky enough to help him with the online stuff, and this like having idea of having a convention, obviously heavily run by Adam. It just sounds like a cool convention to go to. Like for all the photos that I saw, it was like, oh, it looked like so much fun. You know, I was like super stoked, super happy for my friends who were going, but at the same time, super jealous as well. Like, oh, I want to be there too.
It's like, actually, speaking of Adam as well, as Adam Savage, it's so weird. Like, it was at a point where it was so normal to see him at the workshop so often now. I was just thinking, actually, now with COVID, how he hasn't been around as much for obvious reasons, and he's just kind of like part of the team at Wētā, isn't he?
Yeah, obviously, like when we did Unleash, we had that 2 body double of Adam, one with just him and one of him all scarred up. And we had them both in the costume room at one stage. And every day I walk in, and kid you not, I'll get a fright by those ones. I'm like, oh shit, it's just Adam. It's fine. You know, you see it look like a person, but it's not a person. You don't expect it. You know. So every day I'll get a fright by their costume, or I'll be working away, and I'll turn around, and he's right there. I was like, oh, don't give me a fright, man.
But more importantly, have you ever been to the back of the workshop when it's like the weekend and pitch black and jumped at things? Because I've had that so much when I've had to go down on the weekend and just turn a corner, and you know that there's like a costume there or something, but you turn around and jump because something is staring at you. Yeah,
I had this idea for a little short film. It's almost like the night in the museum, but the night at Wētā Workshop. So it's going to be starred by Richard. So the whole idea was Richard fell asleep on his desk, working late doing email one night. Then he woke up and said, oh, all the lights still on. The cleaners didn't turn the lights off. So he stumbled down the steps, started turning all the lights off. And remember how we used to have the were rabbit inside this tour space?
He's still with us.
He's done it right, but he used to be in the main workshop tour space. So the idea is he walked past, he turned off this light switch inside the tour space. And then he saw a red glow. But the rabbit came to life and started chasing him throughout the workshop. Then Richard's going through the workshop, trying to take weapons off the wall, but they're all obviously being fastened to the wall so he can't fight the monsters. So that was my idea for the little short film.
That sounds like something Richard would so be on board with as well. He gets so excited about that. I think anyone who has not seen that rabbit, though, needs to look up the Killian Curse Magician's Rabbit, because it is one of the most terrifying costumes I've ever seen, and I have to look at that a lot.
Also, we heard story that Richard used to get inside that costume when he's inside the workshop and used to scare people. So for me, having this here is kind of like a little payback for the people that he scared so many times. So that'd be quite cool. But also, it would never happen, but it was quite a cool idea that came into my head one day. That'd be quite a cool little short film to have.
That could totally be something that they could do for an end of year.
Yeah.
End of year Wētā party video. Richard being chased by the creations of Wētā Workshop.
Yeah, for internal work, also we can way too many IPs to get signed off. It'll be like Ready Player One, like movie IP version. Oh my god, there's so many in that movie. Yeah, man. We as I said, we're super lucky to able to work in a place where we can be creative, even for yourself in the tourism space to be creative. You know, obviously when it comes to tours, come to workshop for kids, those kind of stuff, which is really cool. Yeah. And now we've got the Unleashed space. Oh my god! I mean, I can't wait for the borders to open again, and that place is going to go absolutely wild.
I'm so excited. If anyone here is not from New Zealand, if you can come to New Zealand afterwards, definitely check out Wētā Workshop Unleashed up in Auckland, because your mind will be blown. It is so fun.
It's crazy. I mean, we're not trying to plug it. I mean, we're just trying to say in general it
generally
amazing.
Is so much fun. But yeah, I just saw a question, someone asking, I am from New Zealand, but no, my art style isn't inspired by the tribe. It's just me, just what I do.
Just how it is. It's how it is.
Just how I am.
It's how I am. Yeah, man.
It's okay. I get asked all the time whereabouts in Australia you're from, and every Australian I know goes, "You don't sound Australian."
It's how rude. It's like asking a Canadian, "You American?" It's like, no.
Yeah. I guess it's because I don't sound typically Kiwi, I guess. Honestly,
Yeah.
Sanad, I think you sound more Kiwi than I do.
It depends. Sometimes I'll catch myself with a Thai twang coming out, especially when I'm excited or when I've had a few drinks. My Thai accent definitely come to the forefront a lot more. That's for sure. Yeah, I mean, like, it's just so funny. Like, obviously, I came here when I was 9, and when I go back home to Thailand, and then my grandparents, used to call me plastic Thai. Like, they kind of like, which is fine. I was like, when I do go home, I do feel like more of a tourist than a Thai. But I feel like I'm pretty lucky to able to have 2 places that I call home. That's for sure.
100% agree. It is nice to have that opportunity to go. I mean,
Yeah.
I've lived in Asia a lot as well. My family is in Thailand now. Actually, my parents
Oh,
live
yes.
there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you've met my parents,
That's right. They
and
came through this.
what's it? Sorry.
Yes, right. I remember now. Yep, they came through. That's
Yeah,
right.
and I love Asia so much. Like, have the opportunity to go to different places, and I actually consider Hong Kong my second home these days as well. So I totally get you with that. It's so nice to be able to go there, and even though I'm white, I'm definitely not from Hong Kong originally. Like, just love it so much.
Yeah, man, really cool. As I said, like, the world is such a big place, and you have to experience. Especially when you consider yourself an artist or someone who like art, the best way is to see the world, see different culture, and see how people interact and see what they do. Because I mean, like, I told a story before. When I finished high school, a friend of mine actually applied for Wētā Workshop. Just while they're making Lord of the Rings, or before they started, and also he asked me to go because I did the Hobbit for my senior year at high school design project. Believe it or not, and I was like, I see, like, I didn't read the book. I looked at the pictures. That's what I did, really. So I was like, oh, now I'm going to go to art school.
Yeah.
Then the Lord of the Rings came out. I was kicking myself every year it came out. Oh my God, I could have done this. I could have done that. Obviously,
but hey, you have worked on a whole bunch of other Wētā stuff now. So.
Now that I worked there, I mean, like, obviously, like, people say, oh, I wish I could go back time, but no, I don't, because, like, from the stuff I learned when I was 17 to by the time I got to work at Wētā, like 32, I learned so much. I appreciate it a lot more. If I were to go in as a 17-year-old, I think I wouldn't appreciate it. I wouldn't be as driven as I am now. So there's no regret, doing other stuff before. Definitely, I feel like I'm more rounded now as a person and as well. So it's really good.
Do you actually have a favorite with all the films that you've been involved in? Do you have a particular favorite film that you've worked on? I don't know if I've ever asked you that myself.
It's hard. It's like you asking which baby you love the most. But I mean, like, there's a couple that really stick to my heart. Obviously, like, the first one is Power Rangers. Because when I was obviously, like, when I was 9, like, you talk about that guy over there.
Yeah.
So I used to love watching Power Rangers when I was 9 to 10, and that was my first costume gig too, was Power Rangers. So to able to work on that 2017 Power Rangers, that was like, I was trying to act cool in front of Alistairs. You can't show weakness in front of Alistair, so I was trying to act nice and cool and casual. But where deep down inside, I was like, yeah, this is awesome. Yeah. And then after the excitement finished, I had the dread. Oh my God, I better not screw up. Because one, I'll disappoint all the fans out there, and I'll disappoint myself too. So that was
and you worked on the Red Ranger too, didn't you?
Yeah. The first one was the Red Ranger. So I was like, so there's my idol, pretty much. That's the reason why I love the color red. Red's my favorite color because of the Red Ranger. So I was like, after the excitement passes, I had that moment like, holy crap! If I screw this up, I'm not going to live with myself. So that one's my favorite, and the second one is probably Mulan. Obviously, like, being Asian, my granddad's Chinese, so to be that the Chinese heritage side of it, and being a Disney movie as well, and to work on the costume and the props, and to be lucky enough to be on set as an extra to wear the stuff we made. So for me, and the experience I had being down south with all the boys and all the extras and stuff like that is probably one of the best experience that I'll take with me forever. That's for sure. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, man. Hopefully we can do something where you guys can come and work on a movie. And that'd be quite cool. Like even just a little part of it, so you guys are doing tours, talking to the visitors. It'd be quite cool to have you guys experience of working on a show as well. To get that kind of first-hand experience. I think hopefully that'd be something we can work on for the future. Even though you can't come in for the whole thing, you guys are too busy. But it'd be nice just come in for a day a week or something. Just come in, just have a look.
Alistair and I just say, hey, Kylie can do some costume stuff. Just bring her on in to work on that.
I think it'd be a cool way for you guys to have more of a personal experience when you're talking about movies. That, hey, we worked on this. That'd be quite cool. But we'll see how we go.
Oh, sorry, I just saw a message.
Yeah.
Do I have a cat? Yes, I have a cat. His name's Bigby. He's an absolute toad, especially being a cosplayer.
Is he?
I posted a picture the other day of him in the big head that I've been making for a costume. And I've got a video of me trying to get him out of it too. I had got scratched on the hand because he thought I was playing with him and trying to... Yeah. It's papier-mâché. We've got this big inflatable ball that both myself and Abby have used for 3 different costumes. We used it for our Borderlands robot. Yep. I've used it for this head. She also used it for her big sister from BioShock to make the big dome.
That's right. Yeah.
And once you've made the papier-mâché, it's nice and solid. You've got your opening to put, your head through. Yeah. And the cat love it when we make one of those because it's the perfect dome to get into. So if you leave it out anywhere, the cat is going to get in it.
That's good. And let the cat into it, It's not cat. Oh, cool. Yes, once again. So the cat.
The worst part about having a cat, though, Santa, as a cosplayer, is foam. They love to chew on EVA foam.
Ah, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah. So, you got your battle damage, and what it is actually little cat chew marks.
Yeah, right.
Cool.
Okay, Jess from work said, so cool, please upload a picture of your cat in lockdown. If you go to Kylie one, the latest one is a picture of her cat head poking out of the dome. It's quite funny.
Yeah.
I think people with animals or cosplay should have their own page for the animal as well.
Oh yeah, some people do.
Yeah.
I don't have the mental energy to run more than one Instagram account, I think, besides my main one. But I'll put some more cats up eventually. We've got the grey and white boy Bigby, and then we've got Kenny, who's a rag doll. So he looks like a lion with a big fluffy mane. He's the absolute prince of the house. So yeah.
Well, you do like a cat Wednesday or something. Every Wednesday you do a cat post.
True, cosplay cat Wednesday or something.
Yeah, so people are like, Wednesday's coming. Like, you're going to do a post. What would the cat be doing today? Yes,
I'll set an alarm on my phone then, just put up a cat post.
Wednesday cat post day.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, on that note, man, it's been a cool hour. It's been over an hour.
It has been, yeah. Thank you so much for inviting me, and thank you people for coming along and listening to me ramble about the stuff that I do.
That's it's something that I want to do a lot more of this now. So many of us who do quite cool stuff, and it's nice to have a chat and just see what people are up to, and hopefully to inspire a few guys to do a few things themselves as well.
Yeah, please and share them, because Anna and I love seeing what people are making too.
Yep. All right, guys, I'm going to go and paint this hallway now, and
good luck.
Maybe go for a walk later. All right. Thanks for watching.
Right. Enjoy the sun, Sanet. Have a good one, everyone. Thanks for coming. Bye.
Bye. All right. That's another one. So, thanks for watching, guys. So, as I said, I'm going to try and do one every Sunday. I think I've got quite a cool guest lined up next Sunday. I won't say who it is yet. But, it's going to be cool. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day or evening or lunchtime, whatever. And we'll catch you guys next time. See ya. Bye.